a term, I feel like I'm just so far from all of you. So, thank you. Thank you. So there is this one term that I've been hearing from the different members earlier, which is the box of chocolates. Tell me about this. What is this box of chocolates? This morning has been making me hungry with halo and then this box of chocolates. What is this?
I'll take this one. So the chocolate box is essentially 16 different categories of the marketing stack. So essentially you have your research, your consumer insights, your consulting, your strategy, your performance marketing, out of home, etc. So I think the reason why we came up with that name is it literally looks like a chocolate candy bar.
Like bonbons and...
Exactly, like a milk bar or dark chocolate bar with its pieces in place. So all in all, it's a chocolate box of your best stack of marketing players across the region.
And there was also mention of different... Sorry, Peter, go ahead if you want to ask it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It all tastes so good, okay. I heard that, so there was a mention of the alliance not only being an alliance of agencies, but an alliance of experts. Is that in any way related to that? And what are these different sets of expertise?
Right, so I think I've mentioned a few of them, but typically what we're looking for is the best man for the job in every single category. And we also have somewhat of an exclusive limit as well. So we aim not to have too many. This is not about the numbers, not strength in numbers, it's about quality. So within every chocolate box, we would have a maximum of 3 agencies at a time. And ideally, either complementing or having a unique skill set within them. So let me give you real context. Like for example, the KOL and influencer marketing category. In Malaysia and Singapore chapter, we actually have a specialist that only caters to the China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Xiaohongshu demographic. But at the same time, that isn't sufficient to fulfill a mainstream brief. So then we'd have a mainstream specialist who covers the English audience and the other demographics as well. So collectively, we have the best coverage, hyperlocal coverage for all demographics within the Malaysian market.
Okay, Homer, still at the box of chocolates. Have you packed everything, or are you still looking for partners?
Thank you for that wonderful, very tasty question. The wonderful thing here is that our name itself, Black Box Collab, we've always searched for partners. In fact, we did try to open up before, and we have even opened up really in Europe and Singapore. But the biggest reality was admitting we can't do everything. That was the key pivotal moment when we said, you know what? I'd rather just do one thing, and can I just be good at one thing and let everybody else do their one thing? And I guess it goes back to that box of chocolates. You know, when you see one, you zero in on one aspect of it and you take it in. But the entire experience is truly bountiful. But with Sama here, I'm so amazed by being able to make... Well, we had this dinner party yesterday.
Are we sure we're not launching a food and beverage company here? What's going on?
Seems like it, but...
So a dinner or a party?
Yeah, sorry?
Was it a dinner or a party?
Both.
I think, Peter, for you, it's a party.
I realized everybody was great at that one thing. And it made me see the region in a wonderful way. We're in, yay, finally admitting I don't want to do everything. I can only do one thing is actually the most freeing sentence I can say to my agency.
All right, just zooming out a little bit, contextualizing it as well. So in the Philippines, the World Bank recently reclassified us as an upper middle income class, right? And we are, I think Secretary Balisacan also said that in the second half of the year, we are looking at 3.7% GDP growth. ASEAN If my numbers are correct, we're looking at a 4.3 collectively. How does what is Sama's role in this economic growth that is felt on the ground?
I'll take this on first. So what's great is that I had a very, very specific context here. A friend of mine was actually looking forward to expanding his brand into Indonesia, China, Malaysia, and Vietnam. And he said, and when I asked why, he said, I think it's time for us to be actually known for the quality of our products, and I'm willing to spend on it because there is a vision that he is ASEAN first. So I was so shocked to hear what Donald said earlier, that if you want to grow, you have to think ASEAN first. And my friend who owns that beverage company, it took him 10 years to realize that. But I'm glad that he's in that point of actually expanding already, since the home base here is actually stable enough for growth.
And so, since we're already talking about the businesses, from your experience, from all the engagements that you've done with local businesses, what's the biggest concern that you're hearing in your own markets? What are they most worried about?
Well, first is for me, first of all, local markets, when we do have brands coming in here or even trying out ASEAN, they will always ask, do you know anybody from this country, or do you know, or you can refer? It was a very isolating case. But now the concern is that I know somebody from another country, but the question is, do you trust them? And they're gonna ask, have you worked with them? Because in Asia, of course, trust matters more than the relationship. And the concern here is that even if you give all the data, even if you give all the presentations to build the credibility of the people outside of it, okay, great. There is one thing that is always knocking at the back of their head. Do you really know who you're talking about? It's not about the what. Everybody can do the marketing. It's the who. I guess that quells the fear in it when I tell you, oh, I know somebody, not the agency. I know her. She's gonna do the greatest job that you could ever experience once you do go out in Singapore. And I think the fact that you're lending that credibility, it's really putting my word there and then betting on everybody. It's as if you're working with me.
It kind of echoes what Donald said earlier about trust being a competitive advantage. Felix, what's a concern amongst local businesses in Indonesia that you've been hearing?
You mean like to expand or to?
Any top of mind concerns? And yeah, maybe it is related to market expansion as well.
Well, yeah, definitely. Expanding is a scary thing because you don't know what's on the other side. You don't have any idea on the market that you're expanding to, and whether you actually hire the right people, partner the right agency, for example, and like you basically know nothing. So, for example, like in Indonesia, there are tens of thousands of islands. Even just in one island, you go to a different city, the whole behavior is different. You may think that you're successful having a product in Jakarta. You may not be so successful in Bandung or in Bali, for example. They have their own habits, they have their own spending power, they have their own demography, so it varies. So actually,
Culture.
yeah, culture especially, right? The habit, pretty much everything. And also, that's one island. But what about like on different islands? What about the shipping? What about the pricing? It accounts for a lot of things. Yeah. So having people in the same space like Sama we actually have this, like trust at least, yeah. So this trust that we actually cultivate, that we actually build to be able to conquer the market. Well, there's always something that you find out, like what's about your partner or something like that. But at least the underlying foundation, it's there already. Like in terms of like, because everyone in Sama is pretty much curated. It's not like just some agency who wants to join Sama and then they can just pay and then join. So it has to be approved at least from the country chapter. It has to be approved from the regional chapter, whether we can actually see that agency can fit with the whole culture of Sama, right? So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So hopefully I'm not going too far from your question, but
You're right on point. I do want to follow up on that later, but
all right.
Peter?
Good.
So the question was, the brand wants to expand to other country out of Thailand, right? Okay. I didn't prepare for that.
What are the concerns from the clients and
Definitely,
businesses?
Thai brands want to expand, right? I think for the brand who actually wants to expand, they don't have the capacity in terms of like, okay, they trying their best to compete in Thai market, right? And they know the game. But if they want to go to like other country and they don't have a team to experience on that, and even to find a right partner to actually help the brand growing in different countries is so difficult for them. So I've been trying to help this type of SME Thai brand to go abroad, and the concern is not the, how to say, it's not the budget, the language and all that, but the insight and how to deploy it at the very right execution at the very beginning is what they're concerned about. Because it takes so much risk for them to invest in this kind of expansion, and they can't afford to lose at the very beginning. So partnership like Sama, we're helping them doing all kinds of execution and know that the market best is actually the solution for them. Yeah.
I'm going to change it up a little bit because we talked about trust, we talked about understanding local nuances, understanding the local culture and belief system as well, the demographic capacity, you pointed out the capacity. Are there still businesses that believe in a one-size-fits-all approach, and what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, you asked the right person. So I think in terms of Malaysia, we have 3 different primary races and very multicultural hodgepodge. So even within the market itself, a one-size-fits-all solution just simply will not work. And if you're talking about us as a collective APEC or ASEAN, that's even more the case. Because sometimes, okay, for example, even if we were to take the word Sama, right? We do have the same, but it's also still different in another context. But the different doesn't necessarily always divide us, but it does make it harder to resonate. Right, so if a brand was to go with a one-size-fits-all solution, the connection to the consumer or the audience essentially will be disconnected, and then that's a pathway down to failure.
Okay, since they said we have 5 minutes, I think down to 4 minutes left. My question is, you mentioned that Sama is not a typical association where you just sign up and pay for a membership. You said it's highly curated. I'm assuming that your clients would also be highly curated and choice and highly prioritized clients. Who are your dream clients, your dream businesses, or dream partners?
I think airlines, we've got a lot of international, so we're looking at global brands, cosmetic players. I want to give a little backstory to CL's first inkling towards Sama because he was pitching to L'Oreal. And they loved our local pitch, right? Like from an independent agency. However, they couldn't appoint us or any one of us because they needed the regional infrastructure. So I would say that definitely these brands, global brands that have a lot of influence within our APAC market that people have generally grown to love. Like even if you say Bata for that matter, everyone thinks they own Bata. That it's a neighborhood or the country's brand until they find out that's a great example of like localization. Right, so essentially those would be our key targets because we feel we can complement each of, or actually really showcase each of our chocolate box within the region through these brands.
Thank you. Any other target, dream?
Me, a homegrown brand,
Yes.
Jollibee.
We have a Jollibee representative here.
No, Jollibee.
Jollibee sponsors our show.
Jollibee soon. Oh, just Jollibee. Okay, that was his answer. That was his
No,
answer.
it's really just
Any? Yes.
Okay. So I'm lucky enough to see to work with brands and agency because we are production and agency, right? And I saw so many campaigns that failed because of they stick to their like guideline and everything, and they do big production, big campaign, focusing on making the TVC right and everything perfect, right? And I saw it fail terrible, and comparing to like just one content, that it actually gained more engagement, more reach than the big production film, something like that. The brand actually understand the essence of the campaign, that you play with the audience, you open up the brand as a space for the audience to actually engage with you. So that kind of brand that understands and turn the campaign into something that audience can actually relate it to. I would say my client like Samsung, Trip.com, anything like that, who actually understand it, already shifting persona, I would say, to be an audience like friends and actually not selling that product, but being there, giving conversation, a good conversation, meaningful one, is the client that I actually appreciate, and I think there should be more.
So we have brands or companies that need regional network brands that aim for experiences and deeper engagements, creative expressions as well. And we have Jollibee or the likes of the Jollibee. Let's double click on that. What is the profile of why did you say Jollibee? What's the profile that you're after?
Maybe because Jollibee is well known to be a Filipino brand, when in fact it can represent simply the joy of food. And how does that look like for each culture, each country, each demographic? I think the beauty there is the nuanced layers of stories based on insights that can be very well be developed by the local agencies as opposed to having a global message and just a top-down direction. Being able to celebrate that level of resonance that is unique to each and the very individual cultures, I think can very well elevate the level of connection Jollibee can make for its global audiences.
So really supporting homegrown brands, right? Felix?
Yeah, so I'm actually very excited to see regional agencies. I mean, like brands who actually already connected to regional agencies and they want to try something different. They want to try summer because we're so very localized to each market. Because, like for example, like Philippine summer, Indonesian summer, and then Malaysia, Thailand, we're very localized in that market. We're very specializing in that region. And so yeah, that's pretty much what we're all about. very localized in that particular market, and we are the expert in that market and in that field. So that's really looking forward for a brand who really want to try something different, who want to grow globally, especially in Southeast Asia, and they want to try the approach of making it very localized, and they want to approach a very on a deeper level of this community and the audience that they want to grow the business to.
What I love about this is it's Southeast Asians claiming Southeast Asian expertise that can support the growth of homegrown brands, not only regionally but also globally. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to connect it to Alex Ayala, who just finished her run at the Wimbledon yesterday. But that is an example of a homegrown talent. We're talking about homegrown businesses here. That is an example of a homegrown talent that can really catapult at at conversations and performances at a global stage.
But have you seen what Nike did before ELI?
Sampaguita?
The hairband.
Ah yes.
Yeah,
the
and
vice.
the letter from Nike to ELI. That's exactly what I call hyper authentic, right? So that's you gain a lot of free media, and people actually looking back to Nike and see the brand different, something like that. You should search it. It's very good.
So I guess Nike is another dream. Fine. Let's put it in there. We're manifesting. Okay. Thank you so much to our esteemed panelists. Again, thank you for having me here. Really enjoyed this conversation. Also, thank you to Donald Lim earlier for giving us the time. That wraps up our session. Again, thank you to our panelists. So, let's give them a round of applause. We're taking a selfie with everybody. But as we're taking a selfie, yes, everybody. As we're taking a selfie, I'm also going to say that panelists, please stay on stage because... Oh, okay, yes. So panelists will stay on the stage because we have questions from the media. 1, 2, 3, sama-sama. All right, for the media, we have mics right in front. And so if you have questions, feel free to come up. Thank you so much. All right. Do we have questions from the media? Panelists, please stay on the stage. Apologies, they said we were to wrap up, but we have questions. Yeah, we're not yet partying here. All right, do we have questions? To the members of the media, if you have any questions for our panelists, feel free to come up. Thank you. Please do introduce yourself, state your name, your publication.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm Edwin from Mrs. Mirror. First of all, congratulations. My question is, what would you say would be the biggest advantage for a local brand working with Sama instead of hiring separate agencies for every country?
Dr. Shakti, would you like to take that up?
just to clarify, we're talking about a local Filipino brand looking to expand to other markets, yeah?
Yes.
So I think one of the best things that you could do through enabling with Sama is we've already done the painstaking work of curating and ensuring you have a trusted gateway. So for added clarity, there are certain criteria that every single independent agency has to meet in order to be a part of the alliance. And we're not talking about vanity metrics here, we're talking about actually having a stable revenue standard, a HQ, like a physical office within their market, and a certain size of headcount to establish their years of operations as well. So you're not just getting any independent agency, you're getting a highly vetted agency, and on top of that, there's a trust layer. I can personally say that a lot of the agencies here are personally vouched by me as a founder because I've actually worked with them. And I know that if I give them a deal, it's as good as I'm running the job myself. So working with Sama means that you don't have to vet that across 10 different integrated marketing or service offerings that are there. So 10 agencies, you need all 10 of them, they all meet this standard.
Thank you, Dr. Shakti. Any other questions from the media? Yes.
I am Elaine from Radio CSR. With the current situation in the Philippines now, especially your theme is trust, right? So how do you deal with this? Are you the alliance?
I guess the thing here is the first and foremost the visibility. You can't get business if people don't know you exist. I've had the experience of marketing my own agency and oh my god, it's just so tiring, just shoot me. But here, I already have 8 people who know that we exist and elevate that further to a regional network wherein you have 50 other people, agencies that know you exist. So first and foremost, I do believe that, wow, I feel like I'm answering it as a Miss Universe contestant. How did I get here? I strongly am able to enjoy that kind of borrowed credibility because first, the profile has been met, has been vetted, and also there is this constant co-creation with the members, which ultimately lend to the visibility.
Thank
I
you.
hope that answered your question. Thank you.
Do I have any more questions? One last question from the media.
Hi, good morning. I'm Claire Santiago, owner of the blog site clairesantiago.com. My question is for the representative from the Philippines. SMEs, the backbone of the Philippine economy, make up most of the local economy, about 99%. But few of them have gone regional. Why is that, and what does Sama change about it?
So it's a very big number, 99%, and I'm only just one company that is trying. So I think the safest thing is to answer from the local businesses that I've worked with, mainly resources, and also, but predominantly, there is a lack of understanding of how do I get to do it? And before you even get to who, what, when. Because the how right now is surprisingly being shared by members of Sama. Oh, you know, in our local context, this is what's happening. It's really that connection, providing that highway of exchange that provides so much light and dispels a lot of doubts for local homegrown brands to get out of it. And there is always this fear, oh no, if I expand outside of the Philippines now, is it gonna be expensive? I cannot answer that. It depends on the goal, depends on what you want to achieve. But at least you get to understand it straight from the sources themselves, the areas, the countries, the representatives that can very well provide you, not just the insights, but actually provide you with homegrown truths to help you make an informed decision. And then once you get that entire picture, you already have a team that's waiting and willing to work with you. So getting the picture first with all of the things that you need to understand, and then Sama is there ready and willing to actually make it all happen. Thank you.
And he said earlier, our homegrown brands are ambitious. What we need is a hybrid. Do we have time for one more? All right, we are good. Are you sure? 5, 4. We don't need the countdown. All right. Thank you. Yes. Okay, we are good. All right. Thank you again. Final thank you to the panelists for that insightful. Final thank you to the members of the media for your questions as well. All right.